I'm Heather from booktubes, and today is my May reading wrap-up. May was not the best reading month, so in the month of May, I read 32 books. I DNF'd 19 of them, so I'm going to talk about 13 today. Start off the month, I DNF'd 2 romantasies, kept them both on my TBR, but then actually later took one off, I think. Then I read Scrum by Ava Tenney. I gave this 4 stars. This is a novella, steamy novella. It's a debut, and I flew through it. It's a married couple that adds a third. The married couple, he's like in tech support for security stuff, and she is a professional rugby player. And then the third is a sex worker who is training to be a chef. And this takes place in Paris, which is pretty cool. I will say this was marketed as a dark romance novella, and it is not at all whatsoever. It's a romantic suspense. All of the dark content comes from a mafia guy that is not one of the love interests or the main characters. The kidnapping and stuff that's marketed, that's not between the love interest and the main character. None of that is happening. The actual relationship is very sweet, very healthy. Do they kill people? Sure, but in self-defense. But it's not dark at all. It's a romantic suspense, so it is mismarketed in my opinion. The other issue that I had with this is the way that bisexuality is represented. Both of our female main characters are bisexual, I believe. But the thing that weirded me out about it, also we're not talking about the blush. I don't want to talk about it, okay? Let's just hide that back. See my rainbow earrings? You don't see my blush. Anyways, I think they're both bisexual, right? Although we're only specifically talking about the bisexuality on page of the wife. And when she is coming on to the third girl, right, she doesn't say we have an open marriage. She leads with, I'm bisexual and he knows that. And that's done a couple of times in the book, and I think that is really weird because bisexual people can be faithful and in monogamous relationships regardless of the gender of their partner. Right? Like that just doesn't have anything to do with it. So I didn't like that way that was talked about. Because the issue to address is not that the wife is bisexual. The issue to address is the fact that they have an open marriage and they have an open marriage specifically when they're interested in the same woman and they are interested in her. That's what needs addressed and clarified before you get into a relationship. That being said, generally liked it. Then I read Strange Love by Anna Guire. I gave this 4 stars. This is a cinnamon roll creepy alien accidentally kidnaps a human and her dog. Completely did not mean to, and unfortunately because humans don't know about aliens, he can't return her, and then his alien society is dealt with overpopulation, so they actually have to get approval and kind of go through a trial situation in order to be cleared to be a couple and reproduce and stuff, and it is his last chance. It's one of those ones where it's pretty cute and sweet, and you almost don't expect some of the dark content that is happening because you're watching people be killed just for trying to have a family. Then I DNF'd a romantasy, and then I DNF'd a fantasy, and I kept both of them on the TBR because I was in a just horrible reading slump. Then I read The Rising Wave 0.5 and 1 and 2 by Michelle Danner, and I gave these 5 and 4 stars respectively. This is a fantasy romance, and he is a warlord and she is the like imprisoned princess of his enemy, and they are both thrown into the same dungeon together. She has been a prisoner for a couple of years from her like evil cousin, and he got captured, but they don't realize that he's actually the warlord himself, right? And the writing of this author is very interesting because it is constant action. Things are moving constantly. She is about to die, about to be kidnapped, all this over and over and over and over again, and we just kind of speed through everything. So I can see that really annoying some people. It didn't annoy me. I was like, is this the best thing ever? No. But am I reading? Yes, I'm reading, and I'm entertained, and I'm having a good time. So I honestly flew through all those so quickly. She has embroidery magic, and you know, is just able to solve all of their problems with no issue. Some of it is very convenient, but I did really enjoy it. And they're short and quick. Then I DNF'd to paranormal romance / urban fantasy. Then I read Finders Keepers by Leanne Sinclair. I gave this 4 stars. This is a sci-fi romance. It's not a new favorite, but it was a good time. He crashes and she rescues him, and he's obviously not the fellow low-ranked soldier that she thought he was, and she had been in a secret relationship with a like high-ranking guy before, and he treated her like garbage, so she doesn't want to be with him, kind of specifically for that reason. Then I DNF'd to contemporary romance, then I DNF'd to romantasy. Then I read Dark Horse by Michelle Diener, so same author of the romantasy. I gave this 5 stars. It's class 5, number 1. She's a human, right? Is she a human? I actually cannot remember now. No, I think she's a human. And she is on this ship. She was captured by aliens. She's been completely tortured and experimented on and stuff for a few months. And then there's like this all-powerful almost AI on the ship that orchestrates everything and lets her escape, and lets her escape specifically into the territory of this other alien race. Now, the alien race that rescues her is actually part of like an alliance with several different alien races, including the ones that captured her. And it is like specifically off limits to take sentient creatures or anything like that. So she's like super illegal. And the problem with this one is that the government and the military and stuff of the aliens that she's dealing with keep like trying to trick her and manipulate her and go back on their word. Then you have traitors that are trying to kill her. Again, it's like she's about to die all the time. We are just rapid fire going through so many things, and of course she just miraculously lives and figures everything out. Again, very convenient. So like I can see the similarity in the writing between the romantasy and the sci-fi, but like the actual relationship and the couple is good. He's cautious but is not the problem. So like the alien society really just pulled a humanity and shot themselves in the foot, because like the AI is contraband and everything, and literally the only reason why she and the AI continue to work with them is because they want to. Like they didn't do anything to actually help cement that alliance, and it did annoy me, but clearly not enough because I did give it 5 stars. Then I DNF'd a mafia romance. Then I DNF'd 2 romantasies, and I left one of them on the TBR because, again, reading slump. Then I read I Fucked Somebody's Wife by Monet Paris. I gave this 3 stars. This is an absolutely ridiculous novella. It's not good. It's not good, okay? He hooked up with her at the club. She's like, oh, I'm married. And he's like, what? He lets the husband live, but he does kill the random coworker for hugging her. It's not good. It's not good. Then I DNF'd a dark paranormal Why Choose. Then I read The Princess and the Pack by Fallon English, and I gave this 3 stars. This is Fantasy Omegaverse. It is insta-love, easy, safe, steamy, why choose. It's humans, so they aren't shifters or anything. They do have knots and alphas, omegas, and betas, but they are just strictly humanoid. No magical powers, no shifting, no animalistic features. It's just human fantasy omegaverse. The main conflict of this is that she is a princess and she is betrothed to the king of another country, and the nobility do not live in packs the way that the common folk do, but omegas need a pack and they will literally die without one. So the nobility is pretty short-lived, and she wants a pack but knows she can't have it because she's a princess. And the one big conflict of this is that her betrothed knows they have a pack, knows who the rest of their pack is, knows that he wants to try and change things and make them be a pack, and doesn't tell her for over a year of them being engaged and her struggling with this. Then I read The Promise, which is the Berg #5 by Kristen Ashley. I gave this 4 stars. In no way should you start with this one. If you are going to start with this series, definitely start at the beginning. But I am glad I went back and read this one when I was in the mood that I needed a guaranteed win by Kristen Ashley. Honestly, sometimes it's nice to not have to reread, to still have something left in the backlist, even if it's not, you know, top choice. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I cannot drag up in my memory what this couple situation was. Who I read about. Oh, okay, wait. I got it. I got it. So she was the girlfriend of his brother, and his brother got involved in the mafia and got himself killed. And this was years ago, and ever since then his family has blamed her and treated her like dirt, and that happens through some of the other books in the series. And then in this book we kind of go back in time a little bit, and we're seeing like the happily ever afters and stuff of other couples. It's like all interwoven through the series, but it's kind of like their relationship starting at the time where she got shot to like save somebody because she loved their family and stuff. He's Italian and runs a pizza place in Chicago, ? And they also have a long distance relationship because of her job. Yeah, it's Kristen Ashley, romantic suspense. You shouldn't start with this one, but I had a good time. Then I read The Night and the Moth, which is the Stonewater Kingdom #1 by Rachel Gillig. I gave this 5 stars. This is without even kind of close competition. There is no competition. This is my favorite book of the month by 75 miles. So this is the new release. She obviously is the author of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, which were my favorite books of last year. And she is a diviner, and the diviners are going missing, and she has an alliance, a reluctant alliance, if you will, a bit of banter, a bit of give and take with a knight. And the thing that actually surprisingly worked so well for me in this book was the commentary and the religious themes on religious trauma and abuse, and finding out that what you believed isn't real, or that you were taken advantage of, or finding out that there are just other things to believe. All of that works surprisingly well. My favorite character by far is the gargoyle. He's hilarious and so sweet, and I just love him so much. The romance is very much a B-plot. It is not the focus of this book at all, but I did really enjoy it and think that it was really sweet. They have a little bit of antagonism at the beginning, but it's not really truly enemies to lovers or anything like that, and they get over that pretty quickly. I really liked the world building. I will say there are content warnings there is one line about a stillborn baby that is a reveal, and so just caution you, because, you know, if you need that caution, I don't want you going in blind and being bothered by it. But I really loved it. Can't wait for book 2, hopefully next year. Then I reread Threshold of Annihilation, which is the Firebird Chronicles #3 by T.A. White. This is the sci-fi romance series that we are doing the read-along for on Staff at Novelty Corner's channel. This opens up in the same scene that the second book ended on, which is great because the second book ended on a pretty big reveal. And it's literally just one sentence later. We do finally get sexy times in this book after having a few lead up interactions in the previous books. And we are exploring a new alien world and society, and things are escalating in the overall plot. This is a series about a loner who was kind of a super soldier in the war 10 years ago, and since then has lived in isolation, and the events that get her thrown into the middle of everything. This is important to note that on May 29th is when everything else in this month's wrap up happens, okay? IDNF to NetGalley arc of a sci-fi romance, IDNF to contemporary romance, IDNF to motorcycle romance, IDNF to vampire why choose romance, IDNF a mafia romance, IDNF to paranormal romance, IDNF to romantasy, IDNF an alien romance arc. Honestly confused. Oh no, that was 2 different arcs that I DNF'd that day. So exciting. Then I read Saving Ascara 1 and 2 by J.M. Link. I gave these 3 stars. That is not a standalone. You need to read book 2 for their happily ever after. The sex is the best part of these books. The plot, plot makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, it doesn't make any sense at all. There are holes that you can drive a semi-truck through. Like, it is not good on that front. So these aliens basically escaped and they need stuff to fix their ship, and so they make contact with humanity for the first time. Humanity is pulling on humanity and just kind of trying to screw them over in some ways, but also trying to help them because they know they need alien contact. And through no fault of her own, she becomes that person. She is a medic, right? She's a doctor. And yeah, there were lots of things that was like, you could actually, like, you don't have to sneak that, or there's a lot. The plot I have many issues with the plot. The relationship had realistic communication issues, considering you are from completely unknown societies and species to each other. The aliens, they don't really talk much. They use body language as one of their big communications. Also, the females of their species are larger and more aggressive. They're the ones that make the first move. They're the ones that make all of the sexual advances. They don't have couples. You just hook up to procreate, right? And that's pretty brutal and violent, again, mostly on the female's part, okay? So lots of issues with, you know, them just falling in love when love doesn't even exist in his society. But none of that crossed the point of annoying me too much. And like I said, the sex was the best part. I read it because I wanted to read. I had DNF'd, what, 8? I had 8 DNFs that day. I had been so slumpy all month. I was literally just trying to find anything to read, and this I could finish, so I did. That's all there is to it. And I finished 1 and I was not tired, and I still had time to read number 2 because they weren't long. And that is how that happened. So all 8 DNFs and 2 books were in 1 day. Yep. Let's talk about my goals for the month and my diversity. Here is my journal page that you can see. You can see how many days I read nothing, so that's great. Goals, I did post my do or die vlog, and I did post videos, which I was kind of struggling to do, so accomplished that. As far as diversity goes, I read 5 books by BIPOC authors or with queer main characters, which is 38%, which is better than my 25% goal. 2 of the books that I read were by BIPOC authors. Specifically, they were by Black authors with Black characters. And then 4 of the books that I read were queer main characters. The Night and the Moth is a bisexual main character, by the way. And one of the queer books was also one of the BIPOC books. So there was an overlap there. And that's all I've got for you on that. So here's hoping that June is better. The beginning of the month is not better. So everything kind of sucks. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.